blessed risings, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are tapping in from. You got to keep in mind that Keep It P podcast is a global show, and today we will be discussing women. A woman framed in rape fantasy plot speaks out after conviction of ex-U.S. Marshal. We'll be talking about that and more when we return from these brief messages on this episode of The Negro Treatment.
The Negro Treatment.
I didn't do anything that did anything.
The Negro Treatment.
No.
The Negro Treatment. The Negro Treatment.
You guys couldn't even hear me. Thanks, IT. I appreciate that in the back. Nah, I'm just messing with y'all, but I do love and appreciate everybody who works behind the scenes, and sometimes mistakes are made even by myself, moi, especially by me, as a matter of fact. And you welcome back to the Keep It P podcast, where we take news, situations, and everyday occurrences, and we show how one could or could not be keeping it P. You see on the screen, woman framed in rape fantasy plot. This is from NBC News. Yeah, we're just gonna get into it. Michelle, this is by Rich Shapiro. Michelle Hadley was a 29-year-old graduate student living in California when her ex-boyfriend falsely accused her of a lurid crime. Lurid crime, not heinous, not we have to just lurid. Where if it's just so despicable, let's not use words where people have to look up the word. I'm just saying, if that was your goal, was to let people know how horrendous this situation is, you would probably want to use a word that a lot of people use. That's just my opinion. It goes on to say, by the time the case unraveled in early 2017, she had lost her job, her reputation, her faith in law enforcement. This is why I played the Negro Treatment. This ain't nothing but to get out your popcorn and your tea. No, nobody's rejoicing in somebody's pain or their hard times. But Black people have pain and hard times, and yeah, Black lives seem to not matter. So yeah, sometimes you have to bring it straight up the middle, and sometimes you have to treat people the way they think they want to be treated. See, so you treat people the way you want to be treated, so people treat people so bogus. Well, let's start treating people bogusly as they treat you, and then let's see. I'm not saying let's pluck out everybody's eye, an eye for an eye, but sometimes people need to see. They might not understand just how bogus they're being until it's done to them. It carries on to say, but late last week, a federal jury convicted the ex-boyfriend, Ian Diaz, a former U.S. deputy marshal. He's still a great guy. He was a U.S. marshal after all. How bad could he be, It goes on to say they convicted him of setting up Hadley by making it seem as if she had lured men to his home to sexually assault his then wife. Diaz had framed Hadley as part of a twisted plot to get her to walk away from a condo they had purchased together. So that's what all this was about. A few snaps. That's the plot twisters right there. So this is Diaz and his chick right there. He framed her. The guilty verdict represents a fresh round of vindication for Hadley, who spent 88 days in jail. Ooh, 88 days. Oh, terrifying. Oh, false imprisonment for 88 days. Oh, have a parade for the justices that were undone. Oh. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. As a result of Diaz's scheme, and who has waited more than 6 years for him to pay for his crimes. Boy, he was chilling. 6 years. Boy, 6 years.
The Negro treatment.
You understand what I'm saying? Diaz's conviction would not have come at a more joyous time in Hadley's life. Incredibly, it happened on the same day she gave birth to her first child, a baby girl. Who would want that's still associated with the birth of my child? Like on their birthday, yeah, this the day that whack job that I'm just saying. He's linked now forever. Well, I'm taking my power back. Yeah, I hear you. I am so grateful to the Justice Department's Office of Inspector General. Golly, that was a mouthful. For the work they put into this case, into the jury for a conviction that has brought so much peace to my family and restored some of the faith we lost in the justice system as a result of Diaz's crimes against me. So somebody else's misery brought you peace? See, we not even asking for nobody to be miserable. All we asking for is cutting the check. And we can't even get that. Y'all want people to be miserable and to fall all out. I ain't even asking for that. We just saying this little bit right here. Can we get that little bit? You crying about this little bit of action you got.
I didn't do anything that did anything.
The Negro treatment.
You crying about that little bit you got for one time ever in your whole life. It goes on to say, my life has been filled by strange, often symbolic, and sometimes beautiful coincidences like this. I don't know how that's beautiful, but okay. Hadley said, my daughter represents my rainbow after a long storm, and my heart has never felt so full. The criminal case dates back to the spring of 2016. Boy, he was out chilling, living his best life. Ain't that how it happens? To black people, boy, they be out living their best life, chilling, and still we get no quote unquote justice.
The Negro treatment.
And she crying about her little 2 seconds. After Hadley's 2-year relationship with Diaz ended in August 2015, they became locked in a dispute over their condominium in Anaheim. Diaz married a different woman in February 2016. God, dog, so y'all just broke up in August. So that's August, September, October, November, December, January, Feb. So in 6 months, he was already married to someone else? He been had that side piece. Boy, conniving, boy. I mean, boy, I tell you. Man, this is a lot more blah, blah, blah. I ain't even got into the grease yet. Oh, my gosh. Let me get into this diabolicalness so I can get up out of here. They had to do the Dear John letter first. In May of that year, he and his new wife, Angela Diaz, as them on the screen, created multiple online accounts using Hadley's name. Then they used the accounts to entice men found through Craigslist to come to their home to engage in a rape fantasy with Angela. According to the indictment, the plot worked. Diaz and his wife staged one or more hoax sexual assaults and then contacted police to report that Hadley was responsible for hiring the men. How was that supposed to work? So once the men are caught, you don't think they're going to be like, oh no, that was consensual. What? This is the dumbest. Folk be on the internet too much. Too much TV. Too many booty butt blogs you're listening to. Then police showed up at Diaz's home on June 13th, 2016, my brother's Earth Day. He told officers that Hadley needs to be in effing cuffs and in a padded room. Diaz said he investigated threats made to federal judges and prosecutors in his role as a U.S. Marshal, but had never seen anything like this. Oh, using his position of power, abusing said position of power. There goes them good apples. Boy, at this point, does this girl get arrested for sending this S and hiring guys off Craigslist to rape Angela? How would you know they came off of Craigslist? You're not even supposed to know about the attacks. They just happen. It's supposed to be strangers, right? Hadley was arrested by Anaheim police a week and a half later. How'd you even get arrested, Pete?
I didn't do anything that did anything.
The Negro treatment.
I bet you were saying that. I didn't do anything.
The Negro treatment.
I bet that was you. I didn't do anything. Right. I bet that was you. After Diaz's wife called 911 to report that she had been sexually assaulted and that Hadley was responsible for setting it up. How would you know that? You could only be suspecting that. And then how would you know the men got hired on from Craigslist? How do you know that? Dumb, 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 dumb. Hello, McFlizzle. Stop. This is stupid. Classic case of I'm white and I say so. My man was the police and set you up. He was able to get away with this dumb case because he was the police. As usual, abusing their power. As usual.
I didn't do anything that did anything.
The Negro treatment.
Uh-huh. What do we learn here today, boys and girls? Oh, here we go. This little last bit. She was charged with felony counts of attempted forcible rape and stalking and faced up to life in prison if convicted. She ultimately spent about 3 months in jail before the charges were dropped in January 2017. Why it take so long to charge him then? Privilege much? I'm white and I say so? She pleaded guilty, was charged with, wow. Angela Diaz pleaded guilty to 10 felonies and was sentenced to only 5 years in prison in October 2017. So hers was quick. Angela Diaz, who is now divorced from Ian, could not be reached. Hadley filed a lawsuit against the city of Anaheim and 4 of its police officers in late 2018, alleging they rushed to charge her based on clearly doctored emails. Huh? What is you talking about?
Negro treatment.
That's it. That's it. And then this bum, she got a settlement in 2021. I ain't reading no more of this. He faces up to 20 years. He's 44. That's it. I can't give you no more than that. Oh. Ian Diaz abused his position as a deputy U.S. Marshal to execute an intricate cyber stalking scheme. It was not intricate that framed an innocent person for sexual assault, leading to her unjust imprisonment for 88 days. No, y'all didn't come and give a statement. Oh my, what? What? What did we learn here today, boys and girls? Boy, they is fragile, boy. Be snotting and crying over nothing. What else did we learn? I'm Dwight and I say so. And why did I do this? To showcase other folks getting a little bit of the Negro treatment. And to showcase how, look, got a little bit of paper. We ain't gonna tell you how much millions we cashed her out for. We ain't gonna tell you that. And crying over that little funky 88 days you got. Get out of here. But I ain't gonna hold you. I'm just gonna fold you, mold you, and scold you about being off code. Gonna leave you with 4 words as we always do. A little love, peace. Both pieces. Sometimes you need this piece, the peace sign. And then sometimes you need the strap piece, the Kit Kat piece, the Snickers bar piece to get your peace. Blessings. Be a blessing. Give a blessing. And never be afraid to receive a blessing. And aloha. I left and now I'm back. I'm full circle. Love y'all. I love y'all. I love y'all now. But take this though. Hey, it was pretty funny how they got the Negro treatment though.
The Negro treatment.
I didn't do anything that did anything.
The Negro treatment.
No.
The Negro treatment.